Hi guys, thanks for stopping by Walters Beyond Borders again. My name is Brian, and as I mentioned in our previous video, I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about how we decided on the area that we're going to be traveling to abroad. And so I hope you find this video helpful, and let's just get into it. So as I had mentioned, my wife loves to travel, and when we made this decision, she was just sort of wanting to go everywhere, where I was more dead set and had tunnel vision on the UK, specifically like Ireland, Scotland, and England. And so we did about a month and a half of just some solid research on that area. And come to find out, there was some like political stuff going on. There was protests going on, which I believe are still going on as we speak, among some other things. So we started thinking like, well, maybe this isn't the best area to be traveling to with two kids. And then on top of that, like the US dollar there was like worth 60 cents, which played a small part in our decision to like look elsewhere. And so when we made that decision to look elsewhere, we sort of decided to flip the script a little bit and go look at some tropical areas. And Barbados came up quite a few times in our research. And so we started looking at Barbados. Barbados has a great education system. It's relatively safe for Americans, and the US dollar does go a lot further there. So it seemed like the ideal fit for us. And so my wife joined some Facebook groups, which she will talk about in another video. And so during our more in-depth research, it was brought to our attention to maybe look at some other areas. And so Bali came up quite a few times. And so we started looking at Bali. And just like Barbados has a decent education system, the US dollar does go further there, and it is relatively safe, which is like my main three criteria on where we're going to be. So now we had these two areas, Bali and Barbados, and it was hard to decide. And so my wife joined some Facebook groups for Bali. And more extensive research, it was brought to our attention that maybe you guys should check out some of these other areas. Including Southeast Asia. Now, my wife had been wanting to go to Southeast Asia for at least the past 2 years, and so she has done a little bit of research already for this area. But when it was brought to our attention, we sort of did a little bit more extensive research, and the Philippines was coming up pretty consistently. And so we started looking at the Philippines, and just like Barbados and Bali, it has a decent education system. It's relatively safe, and again, the US dollar does go further there. And so now we had these three areas, but the one that fit more of what we were wanting to do was the Philippines. So I am happy to say and tell you all that the Philippines is going to be our home base. Now we are going to be traveling to these other places as well, including Barbados and Bali, and we're going to be posting tons of videos on what it's like for us as a family traveling with two kids and logistics to all of these areas. So please, subscribe and follow us for that adventure. Now, I will say this too, like our kids, all they've ever known is Western civilization here. And so I wanted to educate them and show them videos of the areas that we're going to be traveling to so they're not shell-shocked and they know what to expect when we get there. Because a lot of these areas we're traveling to, they're drastically different. So that's what I've been doing. I highly recommend it if you have kids as well, and even if you don't have kids, it's just good to know what you're getting into and what to expect. So our next step now is most likely going to be the visa portion. My wife's been doing all the research on that. She knows a lot more than I do, so she will be posting a video on the visas. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you want to follow us along for this adventure, if you have questions or helpful tips, please leave them in the comments below. Please also follow, subscribe. It'll help us out a lot. Again, this is Walters Beyond Borders. My name is Brian, and I look forward to talking to you guys again real soon. Bye.